Why do some people have this unspoken magnetism around them? They attract attention without uttering a word, both from the same and opposite sex. They demand respect just by default. It seems like good things just come towards them, whether it's relationships, success, or any other desires they may have. And then for other people, it is the complete opposite. They are a magnet of misfortune. People are unconsciously driven to dislike them and avoid them. And not only do they struggle externally, but they struggle internally with feelings like anxiety, depression, insecurity. The aura is this force that is undetectable by our eyes or our ears, but we sense it almost immediately. While currently there's a lot of misinformation being spread because of its current relevance in meme culture of having an aura, your aura points going up and down, there's actually a ton of validity behind it that no one's really talking about. Because not only does it align with concepts rooted in self-development, success, and spiritual texts, but also scientific literature by some of the smartest brains in history. But in this video, I will share with you the 5 proven principles that will actually raise your aura and allow you to attract the things you desire, as well as just have a positive energy on the people around you and yourself. And the final 2, you literally cannot go without if you want to have an aura. So I want you to picture in your head some famous figure, celebrity, athlete, influencer, whatever, that you would say has aura. Typically, especially in public, they appear focused. They're present, which actually further draws other people towards them because other people can sense that they're actually here beyond the physical realm. They are so in the current moment that they almost become the current moment because they have immense levels of clarity. And it's important that you don't think of this as some kind of additional trait you need to adopt. Rather, it's a matter of subtracting certain things that you currently have, which is a lot of mental noise or clutter. Because when the mind is full of distractions, it is constantly trying to rip you out of the current moment, and that is going to show in your body language, that is going to show in the way you're speaking, if you can actually pay attention to the people you interact with. And overall, it just feels like this wall you're putting between yourself and everyone else, almost like you're blocking your very aura from being shared. Whereas when you detox yourself from the constant distractions of the modern day world and pair it with something such as meditation, free guide in the description, you're gonna have a drastic increase in your metacognitive abilities, which is essentially the awareness of your own consciousness and everything that enters it. And then when you do some kind of action or speak, clarity ensures that you are in line with number 2. So what do people like Mike Tyson, Steve Jobs, Donald Trump, Conor McGregor all have in common? I mean, they're very different people, whether you like them or not, but they all seem to have an aura about them. What is the one unifying thing that they share? Every single one of them had a mission. A mission is literally one of the quickest ways to upgrade your aura because people instantly sense when you are working on something beyond yourself, beyond instant gratifications or things like that. And it especially empowers the things you say and do because every single word you say, every single action you take is backed by some deeper core driver propelling you forward. And you emit this energy where people just can't help but rally behind you. This is why it's so common with world leaders or massive personal brands, which means not only are you building your own personal aura, but you are building massive amounts of social leverage, which in the current times is one of the quickest ways to become successful. And speaking of peak Conor McGregor, not only did he have clarity, not only did he have a mission, but he had insane amounts of momentum. People can just sense when someone's on a hot streak, a winning streak, and they want to surround themselves with that person because they want some of that winning energy to rub off on them too. Plus, when you are building momentum, you're giving yourself a positive feedback loop that just consistently raises your self-assurance and confidence, which, as we'll learn in 4 and 5, is also going to increase the aura. In basketball, there's a term called getting an easy bucket. Before you start trying to make it rain 3-pointers, you just get a layup first. You just get a simple little jumper, and then all of a sudden those players become on fire and they get on a hot streak and they just drop 30, 40, 50 in one game. So one of the simplest ways for you to start to build momentum is by getting an easy bucket, an easy win in your current life, in your current situation. And when I say an easy bucket, I mean it can be easy. You can spend 10 minutes cleaning your room, working out, working on your business, writing, journaling, meditating, whatever, just something small and then something a little bigger, and then you're doing a stepping stone, and by the end of the day, who knows what you could have accomplished, and then you're bringing tons of momentum into your next day. But while that's all fine and dandy, we're still gonna fuck up. Failures are still gonna happen, and that is why you need to learn to fall forward. Even when you experience a loss or a failure or a shortcoming, you can turn that into momentum by learning whatever you can, whatever lesson you can take from that failure, and then persisting forward. This in turn is going to attract more wins and you're just going to fail less in general. But first, I need to address this word that is thrown around so much in the new age spirituality, and that is frequency. Oh yeah, man, this is raising my frequency. Are you vibing with me? I'm vibing with you. Shit, I'm about to vibe all over you, because it is scientifically proven that everything in existence is vibrating at some level of frequency, and they've done tests that show that these frequencies can have effects on your physical and mental state, as well as the frequency of something can affect the frequency of another thing around it, meaning we literally have invisible forces that influence the entities around us. If that doesn't sound like aura, I don't know what does. This is why one of the most famous and world-renowned engineers, Nikola Tesla, called frequency the key to the universe. You know, back in the day when you had to turn the radio knob to find the frequency of a channel that you actually enjoy, it's similar to that when we're trying to tune our own frequencies. But look, this rabbit hole goes deep. There's different audio tracks you can listen to elicit certain responses. There's different foods you can eat and avoid that will influence your frequency. But one of the easiest things to understand and wrap your head around is the spectrum of frequencies that emotions lie on. And a really easy guideline to wrap your head around this is by looking at something like the maps of consciousness. It's essentially this spectrum of high vibration emotions and low vibration emotions. You want to, of course, avoid the low vibration ones. But the one bit of nuance that I will add to it is with anger. It ranks anger kind of low, but my argument against that would be Jesus Christ, what people would consider one of the most high frequency, high vibration, most aura possessing historical figures, is documented to have gotten angry multiple times. However, every time he was angry, it was for a very good reason, reasons higher than himself, reasons backed by God. So I would argue that anger itself is on a spectrum. So if you were to get angry, but it's for a really good reason, I wouldn't stress too much about it. But instead of focusing on trying to chase these very high vibrational happiness type feelings, just focus on being not negative, meaning you could be neutral, you could be super positive and all those good emotions, but just don't dip yourself down into the deep end, which is very similar to what you probably already know is stoicism. And one of the best ways to build up this is meditation, because not only do you build up the abilities to observe your emotions, but you will build what I call the pause, which is this space between an input, something that happens to you, something that enters your mind, and your response, however you feel, say, think, or act in response to that. And in that little bitty space, you hold the power to decide your frequency, to decide which emotion you're going to allow to back your next decision. For example, I'm walking into my favorite coffee shop and there is a massive line. I'm talking like 15 people in line. There's only one employee. It's taking a while. And I could just allow all these low frequency emotions to wash over me. I'm getting pissed off. I'm annoyed. I'm considering leaving. I'm getting mad at the employee. I'm getting mad at the manager. I'm getting mad at the whole business for not having enough employees to get me my coffee within 3 minutes. Or I could just be grateful for the fact that, oh wow, there's a lot of people here. They all seem happy. I passed a homeless man on the way in. I'm very grateful for the fact that I am not in such an unfortunate position. And I am able to go and spend $5 on a cup of coffee that takes like 50 cents to make. It's those little moments that shift your frequency and will alter the rest of your day, week, month, and even year. And one thing you could do literally right after this video to just frequency hack yourself is a visualization exercise where you're envisioning yourself in the moment of achieving some kind of desired outcome you currently hold, because you're bringing this future state into the present. And not only are you going to elicit all of the positive emotions attributed with that, but over time, this is literally going to cause reality to work to match that very state, because your frequency, your aura, and your subconscious mind is now going to start actively attracting or working towards those desires. And just understand when you're navigating your day-to-day life that every single thought and action you have resonates at some frequency. So ensure it's a high positive frequency by backing it with positive emotions. And if you can't do that, at least maintain neutrality. And finally, we have the most crucial make or break ingredient for attracting not only the aura you desire, but the very life that you desire. And that is the image, or the self-image, or the identity that you hold deep, deep, deep in your subconscious mind. And this is where everyone messes up, because they confuse us with the ego, with this persona that we hold about ourselves, that we portray to the world while ignoring the skeletons in our closet, what we think about ourselves when we're alone on a Sunday night in bed and the demons come out, right? And more often than not, those very, very high egos are making up for a poor self-image. And this is literally what programs your subconscious. If the subconscious is the big pirate ship moving towards a certain destination, the image is the captain steering the vessel. Plus, because it is literally impossible to be conscious of things like your posture, eye contact, body language, facial expressions, actions, thoughts 24/7, the subconscious is the thing dictating those things, meaning your subconscious directly influences your aura. And this is actually how people are communicating with each other 90 to 95% of the time. Our subconsciouses are communicating to other people's subconsciouses, which actually influence the relationships and the feelings, regardless of what is actually being spoken consciously. Which I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot like aura. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is everything in this video is going to help influence your image over time, but you do need to be making specific conscious efforts in your life to undo years and years and years of negative subconscious programming that we all have because we're human. So click the video on the screen right now where I discuss why we subconsciously self-sabotage and how to go about fixing it. Or if you want my full-fledged mental reprogramming, self-development protocol, check out Mental Mastery in the description below. All right, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.